All right, Broncos country, welcome back to Mile High Monsters. I am Mike Carmelini, and remember when we were all talking about how great it was going to be to have all that Walmart money and to be able to spend it and buy whoever we wanted? Well, free agency started today uh, for, I guess, 31 teams. Uh, I did not see the Broncos involved at all today. They did not get involved. A little bit strange, a little bit disappointing for most of us. Now, there was some good uh, moves, and I'll get to that too. But I mean, we've got to address uh, going in today with a AFC Championship team and not making a single move. If you guys remember, John Elway wasn't a perfect GM. We know that. But when he recognized his team was uh, a few pieces away from winning a Super Bowl, uh, he went out and got himself Emmanuel Sanders, TJ Ward, Aqib Talib, and DeMarcus Ware, and went and won himself Super Bowl. And that's what it takes. Signing back and running it back with, middle of the pack football players just seems a little off to me. And I know it's early. I'm not completely down on it, but today was a D minus for me. When I saw, just to bring up some of the, let me just back up and show you how this all started. It all started and it sounded pretty good. First of all, we signed Sternad back, and I liked that move. I thought pairing him with Greenlaw was going to be good. We draft a linebacker. That was my thought about what was going to happen there. As everyone watching knows, that's not what happened. So we signed Greenlaw. We bring back Adam Troutman on a 3-year deal for $17 million with a max of $18.5 million. By the way, we spent like $120 million on about 3 players just to run it back. We didn't add a single player today that I'm aware of, unless something's changed in the last 20 minutes. We also brought Nate Atkins back for $5.7 million. All right, if any of these moves are moving the needle for you, let me know. Yeah, Atkins is back on a 1-year deal. Now, one good thing I thought we did is Miners restructured his contract, freed up about $10 million in cap space. But we're using that cap space up. And we also used $2 million of it up on Sam Ellinger, quarterback, third-string quarterback. So that was good. It was not fun to watch Travis Etienne disappear, Walker disappear. Even worse is Tyler Algier, who went for like 2 years, $12 million. It was kind of a heartbreaking day. It was heartbreaking to watch John Franklin Meyer leave, but we knew that was coming. Good on him. Signed a $63 million contract to go play for the Titans. Best to him. Now, here's one I like, and maybe I'm the only one, but real happy to see JK Dobbins come back. And I said this on the show last week. I've said this all along. I am a big fan of his. He's a great running back. Can't stay healthy. The problem was never bringing Dobbins to the team. The problem is not having a backup with the same skill set behind him. I always thought that was the criminal part of it. I love RJ, but then you had Tyler Bidet, you had Jaleel McLaughlin. These guys are all like 5'8", 200 pounds. Like, we need that every down back, and J.K. Dobbins is one of the best at that. So real happy about J.K. coming back. Hope he can stay healthy for the first time in his career. But if not, the Broncos have to sign a proper NFL running back to back him up. And by the way, Dowdle is gone now too. So even like the fifth guy on my list is gone. And by the way, Walker went to the Chiefs, if I didn't mention that. So now we get to see him. In fact, I saw a tweet today from my show partner, Zach Seegers, said if anybody loved our free agency day today, it fell perfectly for the Chargers and the Chiefs because, I mean, we just played right into their hands. Broncos have an agreement with linebacker Alex Singleton on a 2-year, $15.5 million contract. Now, I know this one is a real contentious subject in Broncos country. I've been on the Singleton bandwagon and then off of it and then back on it, and then had just kind of, I don't know, come to the realization that it's probably best to move on from him because there were so many options out there that would probably even cost less for a better player. A lot comes along with Singleton. His teammates love him. Coaches love him. He does some things very well on the field, but he does some things very poorly on the field. I thought that was a little, I'm not sure what to make of that. I guess I'm not that heartbroken about it. I think I would probably be more heartbroken, or I would be less heartbroken if I thought that the Broncos addressed any of the needs that they needed to address. So when this day started, I was looking at running back, tight end, and a wide receiver one, because the defense is a very expensive defense. It played very well for the most part last year. It played pretty well. The offense was definitely missing some pieces. You can't argue your way out of that. Bringing Troutman back, Adkins back, Ingram back, so the tight end room is done unless they surprise us with something. The running back room, you've got JK Dobbins, you've got RJ and Bidet. So Jaleel, they were still interested in Jaleel, I heard today, which was just mind-boggling to me. But the fact of the matter is we went in today needing to upgrade those three rooms, running back, tight end, and wide receiver one. And now we're going to enter the draft with those same needs. There just aren't, unless there's a trade. And if there's a trade, we're all going to be excited. There are some trade possibilities out there, but really all the targets that we've been talking about for the last month are pretty much gone. They're just not there anymore. Like there's just, in fact, I think I've got a list of all the available free agencies. This courtesy of Ari Meroff. Now this is from 53 minutes ago, so anything could have happened since then. Devin Lloyd is still available. Now, with a Singleton re-sign, Sternad re-sign, I would imagine we're going to go linebacker in the draft, which I'm starting to not trust my own judgment on the Broncos anymore. Like I don't even know these guys anymore. And also, please get in the comments, like and subscribe if you haven't. I can see a whole ton of you watching, but I appreciate the comments because I want to know what you guys think. I don't have David or Zach with me today, so I'm just doing a solo. I don't do these very often, but I got to get this off my chest. I'd like to hear your thoughts. But Devin Lloyd, I didn't really feel like the defense needed to spend more money on that side of the ball, so I wasn't really on board with that, and maybe that's why we're not spending money now because they're planning on spending it somewhere else. You've got Romeo Dobbs is still out there as a wide receiver, not on my list. I don't think he raises the room at all. I think he's a nice player, but I don't think he does anything for that room over what we already have. Calvin Austin, Deebo Samuel, Jawan Jennings. I mean, you can see where I'm going now. Leo Chanel, Caden Ellis were two other linebackers that I was interested in. I'm curious with Greenlaw gone, if there isn't room for still one of these three linebackers that I would be happy with, particularly Ellis and Leo Chanel. Excuse me, just because of the cost factor. I'm not sure this team needs to spend that Devin Lloyd type money. I'd be fine with them running it back or drafting an inside linebacker, run it back with Singleton and Sternad for now. I'm not as brokenhearted about that one as everybody else. I think I'm just more brokenhearted about what we didn't do, not so much what we did. Tim's got day one and F, lost 2 starters on defense, nothing new to help Bo Nix unless it changes. Yeah, it's exactly the point. The Broncos are worse today than they were yesterday. The Broncos are a worse team than they were a day ago, and that's sad for me. On legal tampering day, it's basically free agency day. You know, I don't like to see the team get worse, and then re-sign players that weren't that good for us last year instead of spending the same or less money elsewhere. I think Sean and George get really attached to these players. Now the good news is, and there is some, we were smart enough to get J Mac back, which I thought was a great signing for the Broncos. I thought bringing Alex Palczewski back was a good deal. I thought that meant, maybe they get rid of Powers to free up some cap space too, to make some of these big moves for Bo Nix. But now my understanding is that they're planning on keeping him. Again, I brought up Justin Strnad, and then it's Troutman, Adkins, Ellinger, Singleton. Dobbs is the good one there. I still have faith in JK Dobbins, excuse me. One of the best backs in the league when he's healthy. And again, we just need to get some help for him. So not really too much to look at with these contracts. Bandy is coming back on a 1-year deal. So far, he if he makes it through camp, it's just that wide receiver room. That you've heard the term, like, we like the room, they love the room. I've heard it a million times, and I do. I mean, you guys have heard me say this before. I like the room too. It's just missing a number one playmaker, and just watching all the tweets from Kliss and all these guys that are in the building saying, they were interested in this player, but they didn't take him, or it was too much money for them. I guess my response to that would be, if not now, when? Like, when is the appropriate time to go all in? And a team that, in my opinion, lost the AFC Championship game because Bo Nix was out and we didn't have a running game to back it up. RJ Harvey's going to be fine. He's a great number 2, number 3, change of pace, whatever, but he's not an every down back. He's just too small and too hesitant at the line. He'll get better at that. But when you got 3rd and 3 or 2nd and 3, it's nice to have a 220-pound back that knows how to pick up a first down over a 200-pound back that either breaks one for 40 or gains 2 yards. I mean, RJ's averaging like 3.5 yards a carry, where JK Dobbins is averaging over 5 yards a carry. There's a huge difference to your game planning, and we'll see what Davis Webb does. Also, I'd like to talk about Evan Ingram. I wasn't really, like, I would have had to have Isaiah Likely, Cade Otton. These guys are all gone, but I would have kept Ingram anyway. Like, the savings aren't that great. I think he was just underused. I think Davis Webb hopefully has a plan to get them involved. And I'm not a Troutman hater either. Like, I like Adam Troutman. I think he's underrated as a blocker. I think he's a better blocker than some people give him credit for. But that room still needed another piece, and they didn't get it. They just brought Atkins back. So I don't know about that. Jordan Jackson they brought back. Of course, I said Bidet. Tillman, I thought it was good to bring him back on a 1-year deal, at least a 1-year tender. I think he's back. I would have to double check that. So not all bad news, just a little disappointed today. I just think when that window is open and you have an offense or an offense that had to kind of get carried a lot of the season by Bo Nix, a second-year quarterback, and you saw what happened, right? Like, he broke his ankle. He's having to do just a little bit too much, and he's great at it. Don't get me wrong. Like, Bo is great at it. I've said it 100 times. He has won every game that's been in reach that he needed to win. Like, he did his part. Now, maybe there's a leverage call, or there was a last minute heroics from the Chargers game. But Bo took the lead. He had the game won for him. The only game last year that the Broncos could not, that they didn't really compete in, was the Jaguar game. And that was late in the season. We didn't have a running game. And although RJ did have a nice touchdown run in that game, kept it close to the half, but then they just took it away from us. So, yeah, just a little frustrated. Like to see a trade. We talked about Breece Hall for a long time. We talked about making a trade for a wide receiver. Maybe that stuff's still on the table, and that's the kind of stuff we're not hearing about. But just to watch, you guys remember last year's draft? Excuse me if throat's dry. And I don't remember all the names, but it was like O'Marion Hampton and Travion Henderson and Judkins, and there was like a pretty big bevy of good-sized every down backs. And all our shows were all doing the same thing, like figuring out which back we were going to take, and we ended up taking Jahdae Barron in the first round, which nothing against Jahdae Barron, but it wasn't a position of need. And by far, it was one of our least positions in need. And I know you can never have too many cornerbacks. I've heard George Payton say that. If he says that one more time, I'm going to crap my pants. But, maybe he'll work out. But we brought Jaquan back. And unless Moss is on the move, what are you doing with him next year? So is he just going to be a situational down defensive back again? Just seemed like a wasted pick to me. There were a lot of really good running backs in the draft last year that could and should have made a difference, at least in that AFC Championship game, with even with just Stiddy starting. Like, we could have had a little bit better of a game plan in that snow. Jackson comes in. Thanks for joining, man. I don't recognize the name. If I do, I apologize. I suspect that big trade or signing is in the works. There's still some decent players available. There are some decent players available. There are some great players available for a trade. So I definitely agree with that. And I guess I don't mind. I had something in front of me I thought you guys would find really interesting. I saw this tweet and I thought that I bookmarked it. Yeah, here it is. Well, I got to give credit. I got to give credits to here. Who sent this? This is from Bryce, Mile High Mims. You guys all know him. He retweeted NFL Nerd off-season movement. Okay. So this graphics, I wonder if I can share this with you guys. I have so many people watching. I appreciate your watching and your patience, because I don't usually do these by myself. And so I usually have time to jack around while somebody else does the talking. I got to find this. Is this it? I don't know. Here it is. All right. So, and I don't know if you guys can read this, but basically what you're looking at here is, I'll put it on my screen so you can see it. So these are every team is listed, and then the names inside. I don't know if it's my mouse showing up or not. Those are acquisitions. Okay. And then the losses are below. So if you come over here and look at the Broncos, they've got no additions and one loss of John Franklin Myers. And you can add Greenlaw to that. So yeah, the team is, it's worse than it was. But if you look on the good side, look at the teams that made no moves. Okay. The Jaguars, the Broncos, the Seahawks, and the Eagles. Now, for all intents and purposes, these are, and I was looking for the Patriots. I thought that they didn't do anything either. Maybe I'm missing something. We'll see where the Pats are. They're there. Oh, they did. Draymond Jones and fullback. So I guess they did make a little bit of noise, but not much. Point is, is it's not the end of the world that we didn't go spend a crap ton of money. What's the end of the world is we had clearly identifiable holes on an AFC championship caliber team, a team in its window, and didn't do anything. Like I didn't want to see, you know, $250 million in guaranteed contracts go out to just a bunch of, C and B players. But I did want to at least try to fill one of the three biggest holes we have specifically in the running back room, or the wide receiver room. Make a big move. Like, what are we even doing here? And Njoku is still available. Still some great linebackers available. Yeah, I'm not really in on Njoku, but I could get talked into it. Jay's here to crash out, chew bubblegum, and I'm out of bubblegum. So the hell, man. Nailed it. Yeah, it's today, JCS. We nailed it all right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate it. It's a bit of a somber day for Mike here. I get being smart and not overpaying for help. But this isn't a team that needed to overpay like the Raiders did today. Where's the Raiders on this thing? I bet they're like, here it is. It's like this huge amount of names on here. Like these guys spent a ton of money on a cornerback, Linderbaum, a center. Like they spent like $1 gajillion on this center. A defensive end, wide receiver, and a Kobe Dean, Quay Walker. Someone might be a nice pickup. They got a new linebacking core there. But they spend like that. That's not what I'm talking about. Like they're trying to buy their way back to relevancy. I never believed in that. I always thought you draft well, you develop your players. But when the window's open, that's when we got to go for it, man. And guys, we didn't do anything today. Like, it's Walmart money, man. Just spend it. Like, what are we doing here? I hate the fact that Walker, and he wasn't even my highest on the list, that Walker went to the Chiefs. Like but like even Algier, he went for almost nothing. Like we could have signed him and brought back JK Dobbins, which I postulated last week. Like bring them both in. Tyler Algier, I guess he wanted to go home. But a couple $1 million would have probably redefined what home is for a professional football player. JCS, the Raiders are going to Raider. Yeah, look, I'll believe it when I see it with the Raiders. So new coaching, obviously, they'll figure it. They'll figure out a way to blow it, but that's a lot of money spent on a team that's not really ready to compete. We'll see how they do. I do like their tight end though. That they picked up, was it 2 years ago? Brock Bowers is his name. He's one of the ones that they took that I really liked. You got to love Max Crosby leaving the Raiders though. We won't have to see him again. That guy was just a beast. He's with the Ravens now, so that's kind of nice. Oh yeah, and then the Raiders got rid of Kenny Pickett, so that's really nothing there. So, who else do we have here? We got to worry about. Where's our beloved Chiefs? What all did they do? Of course, they got Walker, and then signed a defensive tackle, Tonga from New England. They lost McDuffie, their other quarterback, Jalen Watson. So apparently all the cornerbacks from the Chiefs now play for the Rams. I don't know who that safety is. And then, of course, Minshew went to Arizona. Poor Arizona. So it could be worse. We're not the Cardinals, which is nice. But anybody else disappointed in today? Who are your targets? Like, who did you guys want? What am I missing out on? Von Miller? I don't know. There's got to be somebody out there. Why is that showing up so small? They'll waste Bauer's career like Crosby. It's probably true. It's probably so sad, but true. I like that kid. How about Chargers getting big on the line? They did a lot of work on their line today, and they needed to. That's a little scary. They could have put this in some sort of order that made sense. I can't even find them. There they are. Oh, they did put it in order. They put it by division. What an idiot I am. Yeah, they got a center, fullback, tight end. So this must be before that because I know that they got didn't they do more than just a center? Didn't they get assigned a guard or something too? KR says, why is my screen so weird? I feel like that should be bigger. Does that screen look right to you guys out there? I can't tell. Yeah, I wasn't that big. I guess I wasn't as big on Walker as some, but I didn't want him to go to the Chiefs, if that makes sense. I preferred Algier and ETN. And then Dowdle would have been perfect to pair, I think, with JK Dobbins coming back. Like, I thought that would have been a great kind of 1-2 punch. Like, I just had this vision of not so much saving JK for the playoffs, but just, limiting his carries a little bit, let somebody else take some of the abuse too. He was so good when he was in. God, if you guys remember, he was so good. I'm pretty much all the way through all his games, rewatching them after the season, because we'll do a bunch of shows this year. When all the draft and everything's over and it's the downtime, we'll go back and we'll kind of rehash some things and talk about it. But he was really even better than I think we give him credit for in a lot of ways. So glad to have him back. But yeah, Dowdle would have been nice. KR. The Troutman signing last night was bad omen for Denver. I think we're seeing Sean Payton's stubborn ways in full effect right now. Sean falls in love with. I'm surprised Taysom Hill isn't on the team. I mean, he just falls in love with his old vets. And in some ways I get him, I understand it, but he's also, it's to a fault. It's a little bit to a fault because even just going back to Singleton, he's 32 years old, and slow. And yeah, he's improved on his tackling. I know that he does quote unquote a lot of things on the field, but there's a lot of younger, faster, stronger, better linebackers that do a lot on the field too. So I don't buy that, but yeah, KR, I'm with you. I don't know if it is. Yes, he's stubborn. Like, we all know that we're dealing with a very stubborn coach, but he's a great football coach. But he's he falls in love with this certain, he's got a type, right? And Troutman's one of them. Singleton's one of them. These guys that are just like, yes, coach guys, team guys. They're like Toyota Camrys. We got a bunch of Toyota Camrys on this team, or a Chevy or a Ford pickup truck. Like, we need a few Ferraris or however that works. I don't know. Just off work. What the F? What's up, Vic? Not much, man. I just figured I had to come get this off my chest because free agency was a bit of a I'm not, what that means. Sunny darkness. Welcome to the show, my brother. Broncos have done nothing. They did less than nothing because they actually got rid of one of their best players, John freaking Myers, JFM. So the team is actually worse than they were when we started the day, which is not what you want out of your free agency. That's right. Keep the comments coming. I love this. I'm going to get right back to them. Let me do this because I like to do this. Let's get in here. We'll get to chats and bookmarks here. I just want to make sure that kind of what I kept track of during the day, and to see if there's any interest to them. Yeah, 4 teams that didn't make moves: Seahawks, Broncos, Jags, Eagles. All four of those teams won 11 games last year. So again, not the end of the world, right? Now, what's the end of the world is when George Payton tells us how he's going to be aggressive, and then aggressively does absolutely nothing. Just frustrates the hell out of me. It's crazy. So yeah, Dowdle went to Pittsburgh. Did I see that right? No, I gotta find it. Yes, the Steelers signed Dowdle, who was my last running back that I was interested in, and then I forget who it was earlier. I thought maybe there's a trade coming. Can you imagine if I go through all this crying and moaning to all you guys, and then tomorrow we wake up that the Broncos have traded Riley Moss and their first round pick for Breece Hall, and then I'm right back in here with David and Zach, and we're, smoking cigars and lighting candles. It could happen. All right, I'm still an optimist. We talked about JFM's contract, $42 million guaranteed. So I'm not holding that one against the Broncos. A great teammate, great guy. Awazariki, I guess, is going to have to come through now, unless there's another name that you guys have. He's got potential. And then, of course, there's the draft. Sarah Bettinger, he said he liked the decision to re-sign Sternad, liked the decision to bring back JK Dobbins, does not like running it back with the entire roster and passing on possible upgrades. Sarah, you basically just like my whole show in one tweet. So good on you, buddy. And I'll see you on the show soon. Let's find out where we are. KR back in. It feels like they're putting a lot of pressure on Bo Nix right now, not giving him much help. Well, that was the whole point of this free agency and draft, I thought it was, I don't know how much more we've talked about it on this show, KR, if you've been watching or you've been watching on David Talks Broncos stream or on Let's Talk Broncos stream. We do shows together. That was it, right? Like we've spent so much money on the defensive side of the ball. It's a very expensive defense. It's fine. Again, like I said, bring Singleton back. Fine, whatever. Don't spend money on Devin Lloyd. But if you're going to save that money, then go get a number one wide receiver that can blow the top off the defense. And then that whole room becomes that much better because now you've got somebody that the defenses have to double team. And that opens up court to, run those drag routes and the little back shoulder fades, just opens up so much more. Franklin coming on, like the room is okay. It is for me. It's okay. But it needed a number one. The running back room now with RJ and JK, fine. But they're still missing one. The tight end room, Ingram. Sorry if I'm the only Ingram fan on here, but I am. Sean just never used him. Davis Webb, I think Davis Webb might use him. That's just my guess. Like you shouldn't have tight ends running clearing routes all the time. Not when you got an Ingram on the team. The few times he touched the ball, there were a few where it just looked like he looked like the most athletic wide receiver on the team, and he's a tight end. Like there's room for improvement there, but they still need another one there. JCS, and to mention what Carson said. Was Carson in the chat? Or are you talking about on Twitter? Anyways, our guy Carson. What do you think about Dobbs or any wide receiver additions later in free agency? I like a lot of the receivers in free agency this year a bit. Like I like them, but I like the ones we have on our team. So we've replaced our offensive coordinator. We've replaced our receivers coach. So Ronald Curry, if you don't know much about him, is these guys are going to catch the ball or they're going to be on the jugs machine for the rest of their life. Like they're going to fix that problem. So I'm pretty okay with the receivers we have. And I don't think that, I don't know what I would do with someone like Dobbs. Like, where would he fit in that room? In your guys' opinions, like, who would you bump out of that room? Certainly, and you can't say Michael Bandy. Okay, he doesn't really count, or little Jordan Humphrey, for God's sake. If we re-sign little Jordan Humphrey, again, I'm just going to call it quits. But so, yeah, it's not that I don't like him. It's just that the room kind of has 3 Dobbs and a little speedster. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how to put that. But yeah, it'd be fine. It wouldn't bother me, but it's just, I don't know that it moves the needle that much. Hey, what's up, Ron? 100% out on Walker, one-dimensional back, 3 good games, got overrated. Wanted ETN and cannot be all that hard on Sean or George. Look what they've done for our team. Yeah, I'm not hard on. I'm hard on this day. We are very fortunate who we have in our front office and as our coach. I'm old enough to have gone through really, really crappy front offices and really bad coaches. In fact, most of us probably watching this show are. So don't, Ron, don't get this wrong. This isn't, I hate George Payton and Sean Payton. No, we are very blessed to have Sean Payton as our head coach, who is actually smart enough to know when it was time to hand off play calling to Davis Webb. Like, he's in it to win it. We just happen to have a disagreement between how we should be handling a few positions. Again, if you weren't on earlier, I'm not totally against being smart in free agency. I mean, I watched Shanahan blow $100 million guaranteed contracts on guys that played, 7 plays. Like, we've all seen that. I can't even remember these guys' names. Like, there were some of these guys that we brought in and did absolutely nothing. They were like our big free agent purchases. That's not what I'm talking about. In this day and age, with the way that contracts work, like Algier. Ron, give me Algier. Okay, how big of a deal would it have been, instead of Algier making $12 million over 2 years, to pay him $14 million over 2 years and take him? How much better would the Broncos be with Tyler Algier, J.K. Dobbins, and R.J. Harvey? A lot better. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that the front office guys need to go or anything crazy like that. Vix doesn't understand this approach. I hope you're talking about theirs and not mine, because I don't either. Again, Super Bowl window's open, and when it's open, you take advantage of it. It worked for us in the past. You get close. What is it they always say? You lose small, you win small, you start winning big. It's our time to win big, and we're maybe 4 pieces away from it, and we didn't get any of them. We just brought guys back, and one of our best players left. So that's the approach. It doesn't work for me. Wilson's dead cat man. He's off the books. So what's the holdup? That is the question, Sunny Darkness. That's why we're here. I don't understand. I don't know. I don't like some of the stuff I heard today. And you guys saw it too if you were watching. I was at work. I'm lucky enough to have a job where I can, and so I'm paying attention. I've got my screen up, and then I've got like Twitter kind of running all day. And if you guys follow me on Twitter, Mike Carmelini, you saw I was just like banging. I was kind of getting a little snarky out there and having fun with it. But I was seeing a lot of tweets from Fowler or, Kliss or, national guys, local guys, pick your names. And they were all the same. Oh, the Broncos were in on this one too. Well, we were in on it, and we were looking for a cheap deal on every one of them, apparently, because we got how can you be in on, one of these low dollar guys that got signed for a very fair contract, not a crazy contract, and then you didn't just go ahead and make that move. So I don't get it. We've got the cap. We just created more with minors. There might be some more moves to be made. I don't know what they're going to do with Powers. if they even could. I probably wouldn't touch McGlinchey's contract. That's probably for another show, but that's a great question, man. Like what are we doing? What's that cap room for? Like we've got to use it. We're going to go into the season using every dime of that cap room. Period. Like I don't know the last time I saw a team that went in significantly under the cap. Some loser team like the Raiders or somebody might do something like that. The Broncos don't do that. Like we'll spend every bit of that cap and we'll get under it, and normally, and yeah, it just seems like we're not doing that. Vix, yes, we were gunning for ETN. I said Thursday and had information on this that ETN would be our first signing. I was confident enough to say that. And yes, the Broncos tried that and then just said, I'm not paying that. It's like, again, why? Right back to the sunny darkness. Dead cap is gone. We've got cap room to make this happen. Walmart has a gazillion dollars we could do. We could buy any player we want. And no, they said, no, we're not going that high. Now, with the home team discount thing, maybe there was no way. So I don't want to speak for anybody. I will get those answers though. Trust me, I will find out what happened. And yeah, we'll get it out. So Vic, so I saw this several times today. Shook from the Russ debacle, and there was a few other moves that he made that everybody was saying that now he's gun shy. Now the question you got to ask yourself, Vic, is which Peyton is running the show? Now I know that Sean's the one that says, "Here's the guy I want. Go get him," and then it's George's job to go get him and make it fit under the cap and do the contracts and stuff while Sean goes off and finds somebody else that he wants. So I don't know. It's an interesting comment, Vic, because it's possible that Sean Payton and he were on the same, on the same page as far as this went. I do find it hard to believe that Sean Payton would walk into George's office and say, give me ETN no matter what. And then George saying, no, can't afford it. Not going that high. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I live in a world where I believe that. I still think Sean Payton gets like 51 to 49% of the power in that room. Maybe even I'm being generous on that. Ron says, I seem to be the only person that heard George say we're bringing our guys back first. We all wanted JFM, right? Couldn't pay him 21. Yep, I know. Free agency's not over. The trade deadline is certainly not over. So no, it's not over. But a lot of that stuff, Ron, is GM speak. We bring our guys back first. And sometimes what they do, just so you know, is, and this is kind of what I thought they were doing with Singleton, and I think you're going to find out there might be some truth to this. So with a guy like Singleton who's testing the free agent market, if the team is trying to help him out, like they will say things like, we really want this guy back. He's our number one target. We want to get him back to boost his value on the open market. Now, I'm not saying that's what happened with Singleton. It turns out they did work out a deal and they were bringing him back, but I was kind of under the impression with a few birds whispering in my ear that the Broncos were definitely looking at another inside linebacker. I'm not saying it was Devin Lloyd, but I'm just saying that was out there. I don't know that for sure, but that does happen too. But yeah, they wanted to keep the band together. They did, but keeping the bad parts of the band together sometimes is a little baffling to me. It's like a lot of those games were close and they went our way. How many games would you say Bo Nix won for us last year? I would say a lot. J Mac won some games for us. Even Court as highly paid as he is, and his drops and his, down year or whatever. It's kind of funny how he always seems to drop the first pass given to him, and then he kind of gets going. But even then, whatever, pay him. Bring him back. I'm glad he's back. I like him. I just want somebody, over top of him. But like Alex Singleton did not win games for us. He had a nice forced fumble against that Buffalo game, I think. But that's one play. Like, he's just not a difference maker. Like, I think the team needs difference makers. That's all I'm saying, man. No, we couldn't afford JFM though. Even Bo's saying what the Wolves. I don't know what Bo's saying. JCS is back. How you doing, brother? Good to see you on the show. Don't worry, I'll be really surprised on that kind of trade. Sean Payton wants to largely run his team back. He's got the culture he wants. I think he does too. I also think he has the culture that that could take I don't want to be too controversial, but it could take like a George Pickens or I don't know much about ETN and his personal ways he is. Like, I wouldn't want like a Tyreek Hill or some douchebag like that, or Stephon Diggs. Like, these are not Broncos. We don't want anything to do with them. But when you have that kind of culture, and I go back to the Super Bowl 50 team, with Aqib Talib and these guys, these were not like team guys. But we had the infrastructure in place. We had, that core of a team, so that we were able to bring in a few of those, what the kids say, dogs. And that's what this team needs. They need some playmakers, difference makers, some dogs. Hufanga is a dog. Like, great signing from last year. That one worked out. Greenlaw didn't. I'm sad about that. But I loved the swing at Hufanga. We all knew that Greenlaw was a risk. It's kind of like, wow, you tore your Achilles just jogging from the sideline to the field. That worried me. But there was more behind the scenes with Greenlaw than just his health. And so that just wasn't going to work out for the team. Long story short, we need some playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. And I thought I like Strnad. I'm happy Strnad is there. I think he's going to play well. Let's hope that after the draft, we're talking, you're all on here saying, all right, Carmelini, well, you don't have to worry about it because we drafted, Rodriguez or CJ, or was it CJ Allen or whatever. I'll get into the draft later. But there's some good linebackers in the draft still. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully they draft well this year. Ron, Moss is staying. I said Singleton will be back. He's back. Be patient, people. There's tons of time. All the overpriced players are off the list. I don't think Tyler Algier was overpriced at all. We'll see about there's still a few linebackers left. We'll see how those guys go. Moss is probably staying. He's a good football player. I'm not knocking Moss. He's got his work cut out for him. Playing against PS2, he's getting a lot of targets. He did get that reputation on him for the pass interference. Now the Broncos did make a point to point that out to the league, that it was like, hey, you guys are overcalling our guy a little bit. So that tailed off at the end. You saw that also in the playoffs where those calls started going, down a little bit on Moss, and I thought he showed out really well. So I'm not wanting to see Moss go. In fact, I'd love to trade Jahdae Barron to the Jets or wherever and get Breece Hall. So, and that's not anything against Jahdae Barron. I just don't need him right now. I need a star running back. That's what this team needs. That's what Bo Nix needs. Why put this too much pressure on Bo Nix, guys? He needs some playmakers around him. JCS, well underused last year. Shocking. Man, am I behind? I am behind comments again, so I'm not sure who we're talking about there. Probably Ingram, something. Jordan, give Kenneth Walker $15 million, so keep him off the Chiefs. I mean, that was the other thing too. That's like now the Chiefs are picking 29th and we're picking 30th. We can't let that BS stand. Like, we need to jump. We need to jump those guys, right? We can't let them pick right before us because they're going to pick for two reasons: one, to help them, and two, to screw us. We're going to have to jump them in the draft now. Vic, this can't be the plan. Must be something that works right. I think so. I hope so. Yeah, Daryl Gardner was one. We wasted a lot of money on KR. Algier would be great. See, we can agree on things. Ron, who apparently disagrees with everything I say. That's not true. Me too. I watched 77 Super Bowl. I wasn't exactly pointing out you. I've been on several channels and people say fire George. No, that's just crazy talk. That's just reactionary. I saw it on Twitter too. There's the fire George thing. I've seen people say, I think tonight somebody said fire Sean Payton. Either that to me or on Twitter. No, that's crazy. Algiers definitely just would have been great. And again, I still think you could have had Algier and JK Dobbins. Like why not? Why not double down? Why not have this identity of a team with we're bringing back our entire offensive line again. So these guys should be able to really gel. This will be, I don't know if this is the third year in a row. We're going to have the same offense back again. Keep in mind that Powell played 10 games last year while Powers was out and showed out well. And if they're keeping Powers, then you've got your starting five plus a quality backup plus I think maybe another quality backup. We should be able to run the ball, especially the way that Bo was passing the ball all over the field. You know, he threw more passes than anybody in the NFL last year. They're going to have to guard either the pass or the run. If we can run the ball, teams are going to be in trouble because they can't just, load the box or play back. They're going to have to think about both. And there were only a very few parts last year where Bo and the run game were operating at the same time. So, Ron, I truly feel they were making sure our guys were back. Yes. I'm thinking a linebacker is coming. We only need a running back to bolster Dobbins. That is also correct. I agree with both of those. Linebacker is coming either later in free agency or in the draft. Certainly in the draft for sure. And then, yes, I said it on Twitter earlier. I'm fine with JK coming back, and I've been saying this actually ever since he went down. My problem was never that we signed J.K. Dobbins. It was that we had absolutely no one to back him up. And before you jump down my throat, the reason I say that is because of skill set. Like J.K. Dobbins was the only one on the team with that skill set. None of the other players had that. My cohorts call them hobbits because they were all 5'8" and 200 pounds. It's a different type of running back. And when he went down, which he normally does, there was no one on the team to replace him, and that was criminal. It's Ron again. He says a lot of decisions could have been M. I don't know what that means, but clear that up for me if you would be JC. JK deals 2 years, $16 million up to $20 million with incentives, $8 million guaranteed. Okay. I didn't see 16 million. I did know that he had 8 million guaranteed. I thought it was actually a little less than that. But I could be wrong. In fact, I'm always wrong. So let's just look it up here real quick. Doesn't list it. Sorry. So you must have the information I didn't have. I did have the 8 million guaranteed though. So, Vic, George Paton's that shopper that goes grocery shopping and only buys things with coupons. I said earlier, I tweeted earlier and I got in trouble for it. I had DMAC on the show last year. In the off season, I do Mic'd Up. If you guys remember, it's where I bring like DMAC and then I'll bring in someone from another show and we'll have them on, and I do like a around the horn thing where I'll give them points and a scoreboard, and DMAC was on anyways, and he was talking about free agency, and it's funny because he was like, you go to Fuddruckers, which I thought was weird that he pulled out Fuddruckers, but anyways, he's like, free agency is like going to the bar and there's all these cute girls at the bar, and then the Broncos are there But they wait until last call and 5 minutes before the door closes, and then those are all the ones that are left, all the leftovers. That's how we're running free agency, and that's kind of the way it feels with George Payton. Sometimes it's like you've got some good looking players out there, but you're going to wait till last call and pick up the scraps, and yeah, that bugs the crap out of me. So he's probably a coupon buyer. KR, that is just terrible. Yes, the Broncos got worse. What's up, David? Good to see you, my brother. A lot of the deals could have stopped at the Walmart checkbook. Yeah. I'm telling you what, man, we talked ourselves into this checkbook fever, and like, we can afford anybody, we can outbid anybody. And then what do? We just give up and walk away. 82 KW, 82. How many of those games were close because teams went after and targeted Singleton? So Singleton was definitely a target on our defense last year. Like, there's just no way around it. I don't like the defense because we have to. Okay, to clarify, we lost 3 games last year. So if you don't count the AFC Championship game, which I don't because we didn't have our team on the field, but we only lost 3 games. So, so the close ones. Yeah, man, it was tough to watch sometimes. The smart teams knew how to game plan around Singleton, and they certainly did that. Definitely got frustrating at times for all of us. But what are you going to do? He's back. Chronic. Sorry, man, if I don't pronounce it right. I gave it an F. Today was an F, D-. In the NFL, if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. Broncos got worse today. So there's a lot of truth to this. Specifically when you're talking about older players, older re-signings. Like, first of all, we all know that there were better options than Troutman or Singleton or, some of these other players that we brought back. Maybe even Atkins, like they could have gone in different directions. But like, there's no way Alex Singleton is better next year than he was this year. He's 32. He's going to be 33. Like, this is the NFL. Like, he's old now. It's going to be slower. You don't get faster at 33. You just don't. So no matter how many sprints he runs this year or however he works out, he's going to be a solid. I don't hate Singleton. I'm not a Singleton hater like some people. Like, he's going to be okay. My point is that there were like cheaper, better options out there, or for the same money. Like take advantage of that class that's out there. And it's just crazy to me they didn't. Broncos got worse today though. But yeah, there's no way around it. Because we didn't sign anybody except our own players, some that should have been replaced, and lost JFM. So it's objective. It's not even subjective. Vic says we lucked out with Dobbins last season. They waited and waited. I think they played that well. But it showed why everybody waited, because, he kind of had that injury. I don't know. I don't want to say the injury bug. Like, it's always something different with him. So it would not be shocking to me if JK came out and played every game next year. Like, it wouldn't shock me, but it would be criminal to not have a plan B for JK. I'm glad we got him. I'm glad he's back. I mean, I've said that. JK is our lead running back for 2 years with that money. If he stays healthy, he is definitely our number 1 running back. That's not the problem. He'll play 20 games. Dobbin gets 2-year, $20 million. Where these numbers are coming from? It was like, I thought he was getting like $5 million a year. So I don't know where everybody's getting these numbers. I could be wrong. I thought it was like $5 million, like you got $12 million or something with 8 guaranteed or something. Your source is ESPN. Okay. I always believe my followers. Matt, thanks for watching. 5471 MTS. This is a new one. Astastic Jaeger. I don't think they got worse, but I know they didn't get any better. Well, they got worse because they lost JFM, but that was out of the control. So I'll accept they didn't get any better because they didn't. They didn't add anybody that makes them better. It's the same team except older than it was last year. Vic, this is the true definition of being stagnant. They are stagnant right now, for sure. My recent comments were learning J.K. Dobbins' contract. JCS reported the idea that he probably won't play a full season. Yeah, I got that. I think there's that chance, and that's why they need to make sure they've got a good backup. But that's not to say, again, maybe I'm an optimist. Maybe I'm a JK, with orange colored glasses, but I got to feel this is his year. This is the year he plays. He stays healthy. Knock on wood. That is a wood bar, by the way. Ryben, I can't really read that. RV, Ben Marino. I'm a Bronco fan from Spain. Mucho gusto, Ben. I'm so sad. I know. We're sad too, man. It's okay. It's going to be all right. It's day one. This is it's what we call cope and vent. We're venting and coping. And we'll do it together. Crying dog, lover boy. We genuinely have to do something. Currently, we have less players than when we started. We need to sign somebody. Yeah, we need to sign running back. We need to sign tight end. We need to sign wide receiver. And then you'll see Mike get happier. Yeah, that Troutman contract, man, that's just crazy. My guy Brett comes in. Between this and the Seahawks losing Kenneth Walker, it's been a bad day for a couple good teams today. Man, I know. But, the Seahawks have riches, and they can afford to lose that. Kenneth Walker going to the Chiefs does not help. But, yeah, I think the Chiefs are actually a better fit for Walker than the Broncos, which also makes me sad. Brett, thanks for showing up, my brother. Love you. JCS back. Cole Strange was the G that the LA Chargers signed. The guard. Oh, okay. McD says, give me an O-line with Herbert and Hampton. Yeah, no kidding. They're just going to get better, those guys. Hopefully the Chargers will continue to charger. How far behind am I? All right, I'm almost caught up. Good. Yeah, I knew what you meant, Marino. I knew you meant sad, not sand. Crying Dog Lover Boys back. We genuinely might get last in the division because of today. Raiders got so much better. Chargers got better. Chiefs got better. I don't think that's true. Well, I think all teams probably improved. But yeah, we'll wait for after the draft in camp before we start worrying too much about that. A lot can happen. This is more of a day one disappointment thing. This isn't like the whole season's over. Don't be that down, man. The Raiders aren't going to be better than us this year. Sorry. Did they get their quarterback yet? Who's their quarterback for the Raiders? That's going to be that kid, right? First number one overall pick. We'll see. We'll see what he was all about. It's a long way to get to pass everybody up with all that money they spent. I believe the Chargers got better, and Chiefs got marginally better, but they're in trouble. So I don't know. I still think we're there. I just think we've got a few pieces, and we'll get them. And yes, we got you down there, brother. And Martin comes in. 2-year deal, $16 million, max value 20. Yeah, that's what. So I guess it is right. Structured. It's probably incentive laden 1-year deal. Basically a 1-year deal, team option. So yeah, I agree with that. Guys, it's it's not Celebration Day, right? I didn't want to. I'm always going to be real with you guys. I just, I think the holes on this team are pretty darn obvious, and to do nothing about any of them, just a little depressing there. I still kind of hold out hope. I wonder what Caden Ellis or Leo Chanel are going to get. I didn't see anything happen. Anything happen with those guys today? I know I've been talking offense the whole game, but I did want to throw that out before I got out of here. I think I'm going to be back tomorrow with Mario Vitanzi and probably David. David talks Broncos and beyond. Just kind of break down this and any moves that happen between now and then. But I had to get out here and just vent this to all my guys out here. Thanks for coming on. And last one out was Cody. Shout out to Cody. Thanks, Meg. Cody, I appreciate that. Be sure to check out Cody's new show. Still up on YouTube when you guys get a chance. He's like 2 subscribers away from hitting 50, so he can start streaming. So that's up to you guys to make that happen. So until tomorrow, keep your chin up and keep watching Twitter tonight. These late night trades and stuff, they don't just go down during the day. This stuff's still going down. So at least till tomorrow, though. Go Broncos. George, Sean, go get us some pieces and parts. We need you. All right.